time for your lunch break. February is Potato Lovers Month. That's news to me. So do you know how to properly store your potatoes? Your produce man, Michael Marks, is showing us how.
Yeah, February may be the month of love. It's also Potato Lovers Month. So I brought in several different varieties of potatoes, and I have a storage quiz for you. Do you know how to properly store all of your different varieties of potatoes? Let's start with the most obvious, obviously russet potatoes, the most common. Do you put those in the refrigerator? No, you do not put those in the refrigerator. Leave those out in a cool, dark place. That's where they're best stored. Now let's move on. That's the easy one. Now let's move on to what we call new potatoes. You know, white potatoes, red potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes. Where do you store these? Do you keep these right with your russets? No, that is potato abuse. You do not ever want to do that. Keep your new potatoes in the refrigerator. I'll tell you why. There are two things that make up a potato: starch and sugar. Starch and sugar. Now, russet potatoes have a lot of starch. That's why when you bake them, those starch cells explode and it makes a very fluffy baked potato. That's why it's fluffy, because all that starch in it. Whereas all the new potatoes have a lot of sugar. Now, if you keep these out of the refrigerator, all of that sugar now turns to starch. Sugar takes up a lot of space. When it turns to starch, that's when you end up with potatoes that get real flabby, right? That's because the sugars have turned to starch. So please keep those in the refrigerator. Now let's get to our sweet potatoes. Yams and sweet potatoes, do those go in the refrigerator? No, never in a million years put your sweet potatoes in the refrigerator. It gets what we call hardcore, and it also ruins the flavor. It takes a lot of the sugar out, takes a lot of the flavor out. So keep those with your russet potatoes. Hey, back to you guys.